Hello, welcome to day 12 of our 60 days Excel Mastery Challenge. Today, we'll be discussing on how to create a simple expense tracker. We have already started by merging these whole cells, okay? During our previous class, we had discussed about how to merge. You can look at it to remind yourself about merging. So what we did here is that we just highlighted this row and gave it a fill color. So we want to put in our budget here. So that is why we merged these cells and we wrote budget here so that the budget here will just serve as the label. We did the same thing for the incurred as well as the balance. So let's go ahead and format others. But before we do that, I want to show you how we basically adjusted this column width. There are two ways you can adjust the column width. You can either click, hold, and drag to adjust the column width, right? Or you highlight the column. Then on your home tab, go to your cells group, click the drop down on format, and then you can see column width. Okay. If you click on column width, you then can impute the width you intend to make it. For instance, if we make this say 58, right? We can just write 58 and click OK. You see that it's going to have some level of adjustment. So now we have to also format this row so that it looks beautiful. So let's add color and make the text white. So we choose a bold font, click, hold, and drag to adjust column width. Do the same for the expense. Then let's centralize all of them, okay? So we'll highlight the entire row, right? And you come to alignment group here, you can centralize, then you can align it to the middle, so it can be in the middle of the cell. So when you adjust the size of the cells, you can see that it's well arranged in the middle of the cell. So let's adjust this as well. Now we have dates of payment, expense, description, payment type, and expense amount. All right, so we want to add row bands to our expense tracker to make it look beautiful. So we will just do that by adding a table, right? And you can add a table by pressing Control and T on your keyboard, or you come to Styles here under your Home tab, come to Styles, click the drop down on Format as Table and pick from any preset here you like. So we will go with this because it has a similar color with our color theme. When you want to insert a table, it always asks you if you have headers. That is, your table have headers. And yes, we do, because we have date of payment and the rest, okay, in the row. So if you fail to check this, it will turn this to column 1, column 2, and so on, okay? So it is good that you check it because we actually have column headers. So click OK, and you see we have entered our bands, okay? You can see under table design, you can see that we have banded rows. Let's say you don't want banded rows, you want banded columns instead. You uncheck banded rows here and click on banded columns, and you have something like this. So it's just about what you want. So, but for this tutorial, we'll be going with banded rows, okay? So now we have done this. You could just simply remove these filter buttons if you don't want the filter button, because the filter buttons just help you to filter data you have in here, okay? If you click the filter button now, you are going to see that they are blanks because we have not entered anything in there. So, but you can remove these filter buttons, okay? And to remove the filter buttons on your table, you can, under table design, you notice that table design appears only when you click within the table. If you click outside, you are not going to see table design anymore. we click inside the table, you're going to see table design, and we have it because this is a table, okay? So let us uncheck filter button to remove the filter buttons, okay? So we have basically removed the filter buttons. If you ever want to put the filter buttons back on, you go to table design and check filter buttons, okay? All right. So let us format this area where we want to put our budgets, our incurred costs, as well as our balance. Let us put a color there, a fill color. We'll pick a fill color, say this color, okay? So we can have that. We want to insert icons so that we will have icons indicating, say, maybe here under the budget, we'll have wallet, then the incurred, we'll have, say, some cash, and something like currency in the balance as well. Okay, so to insert an icon, you click on Insert tab, okay? Then you click the drop down on illustrations, you'll see icons. So click on icons, then you have to select from some icons that will load shortly. Make sure you're connected to the internet so that you can have access to the icons. You can pick more than one icon before you click on insert, okay? So we have picked that icon. Let's look for a bunch of cash, okay, as well as a wallet. Okay, so this is the cash. We can then just select this. So as we're done with our selection, we'll just click on insert to insert the three icons. So the icons are downloading and they are here now, okay? So we select the icons individually, resize them. You can see how I resized. Don't resize from these angles, okay? Resize from these angles, okay? Click, hold, and drag down to resize. So you can take it and place it where you would like to place it. Then to change the color, because you are clicked on the icon, you can see the graphic format. And under the graphic format here, you can see the graphic fill. We want to make the graphic fill white. Okay, we'll click and make it white. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the cash. Okay, click, hold, and drag to reduce. Let's put it close to balance and make it white as well. Then let's reduce the size of this coin as well. We'll put it by incurred and make it white. Okay, so before we go ahead and fill up our content here, we want to format this, the date of payment. We want to format it to a date format, okay? So let's click the drop down on these numbers. We want to pick dates, and you can pick from here any date style you want, okay? You can click the drop down here to select the countries format you want to use, okay? You see we have several countries format, okay? So it's usually set on English United States based on the language that your office is set to. If your office is set to English UK, you have it in English UK. So, but if not, you can just come and select English United Kingdom here. And so you can pick from these formats, okay? Any of these formats will be correct based on the location. So let us take this format, for instance, and then click OK. So any dates we enter will be adjusted to that format. Then for the expense amount, we can highlight it and format it, okay, to be currency. So we can click the drop down here under number. Let's go to currency and select the currency of choice, okay? You can select any currency that you want to work with, okay? So let us pick Nigeria, okay? So we can pick Nigeria Hausa today, and let's go with it. So we have formatted these to accept currency. Okay, so what we need to do here now is to ensure that we put our formulas. On the budget, we just want to type budget, right? On the incurred, it's going to be the sum of our expense amounts, okay? So we can easily enter equals here, the sum function for calculating our total, then click, hold, and drag the entire expense amounts sections. That is where we'll be imputing our expense amount. Okay, you then close your bracket and hit enter. So you have that value there. You can basically format the value. So we want to format the value to be by the right so that we have it under incurred here. We want to format it to be at the middle so that it's this way. We can change the font, okay, as well as the size. So if you don't want to be guessing which size you want, you can just come to this increase font here. This is decrease font. This is increase font. You can keep clicking until you are satisfied. This is now 20, right? So here under balance, we say equals our budget here minus incurred, and that will give us our balance. Okay, we can easily just align, right? So we want it right aligned and middle aligned. Then we change our font to Arial Black as we did, then increase this to have it in, I think, 20. Yeah. So we can format this as well so that we have Arial Black font here, 20, right? And make sure we format it to Naira, okay? So that it can have the Naira sign when we input our budget. So let's scroll down to our Naira sign and then click OK. So when we input our budget, let's say our budget is 450,000. So you see that it will be formatted to Naira. And you can see that on our balance, we have 450 because we have 0 incurred. And this incurred will come from our values here, okay, under expense amounts, okay? Okay, so for the payment type now, we will be using the list method so that we can easily just click the drop down on list and enter the list, okay? And to do that, I think we covered 2 or 3 methods of doing this. So, but we are going to be using the very simple method. So we have highlighted, we'll go to our data tab and then go to data validation. Under the settings, under allow here, we will pick lists, right? Then in the source now, we will just enter the content of our list. So we'll have debit card, comma, to enter another one. Then we'll have cash. So these two can serve as our list. So we can just say, okay. You can see everywhere we click in the payment type, we have a drop down. We can select either debit card or cash, okay? So now we can go ahead and fill the other columns. All right, so normally when you enter text in Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, you realize that the texts are normally aligned to the left. You can see this aligned to the left as well. When you input figures, say date, numbers, say date and numbers, you see them aligned to the right. But you can change this formatting, right? You can adjust this date column and make it center or left if you like. But let's make it center. You do the same thing for the expense, so you can make it center too. And the description, you can centralize as well if you like. We'll make it right or left if you like, but it's fitting we make it center because we have the titles centralized. Okay, for the payment type, since we made it into a list, you can click the drop down and just select the payment type, okay? All right, now that we are done with putting our date of payment, expense, and description, as well as the payment type, let's just go ahead and input our expense amount and see how our expense tracker works. So let's say for apartment rent, we spent 50,000. Okay, you can see incurred 50,000 because we have 50,000 here. Okay, so what was incurred was 50,000. We subtracted 50,000 from our budget of 450,000 and we have 400,000 balance. That is what we have planned for today. Do well to subscribe, share the link to as more people as possible to ensure that people can learn and also get certified.